Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers. If you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now, on with the show.
Welcome to Live at the Blue Box. It is This Week in Geek. What's our date today?
30th, I believe.
January 30th, 2015. Is it the 30th or 31st?
31st.
31st. Already we've failed at this podcast. You failed
like
this city
usual.
and you failed this podcast.
You have failed this
It's
city.
today. Okay, so let's introduce ourselves. First of all, we're gonna do it differently this time. Let's start down on the end.
Hello, my name is Edward.
Edward, and Edward is an adjunct faculty for Nuff Said, which is our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel Universe podcast. He is actually ending up with a bio on our website, so congratulations. You are now part of the Nuff Said universe, Edward.
Yay! Wait. Yay!
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, and next to me,
My name is Ward.
and Ward, you are a super fan who is here and seems to be on every show on Blue Box, right?
I am. I've become a Southgate groupie, I think. And,
You've actually become a podcaster.
I think just
That's
as
right.
much as now I'm addicted to the Blue Box coffee, too. So
Yeah, it's darn good coffee and hot. Gotta like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm Rob Southgate, and I think you know me from now. For now, so let's move on. Let's talk about the geek news from this week. I want one right up front. Oh, I've got so many to talk about tonight. There was
a lot this week.
There was a lot
this week.
You know what's funny? Last week we said there wasn't a lot, and we talked for an hour, and we still missed a whole bunch of stuff. This week there's a lot, so we got to move quickly. There's so many things. First of all, finally, the trailer for Fantastic Four dropped. Finally. I want to get your thoughts on this. What do you guys think?
I found it really interesting, the things when you saw him turn into it. He was a big pile of rock, and he slowly broke out.
Yeah,
So
so that's very different than the story. Yeah.
That he grows. It
Right.
seems like the older one where over time they suddenly grew to it.
Right.
But now it seems different, like more to the comics, where in the plane crash they...
Right. It seems like they're playing with the story. Now, did you guys like the feel of this? Because it is different. Uh-oh, Ward's making a face. Can't see that on a podcast, but he is making a face.
I'm making the face because I cannot contribute to this conversation because I have in my little internet pocket articles and stuff I've saved and looked at throughout the week, preparing to have a discussion today. And one of them was, there were a couple trailers to watch. Yeah. And I just didn't get a time to be alone without kids around, and Fantastic Four trailer was one of them I didn't get to. So far I'm doing great. I got the date wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the first story.
You know what? If you were thinking it was the 30th, and you thought you had until the 31st to watch it. So
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so the feel. Edward, since Ward didn't see it, did you like the feel of it?
I didn't.
You didn't? You're so negative.
I am. I don't like anything, apparently.
No. Here's the deal. I'm cutting you off on this because I thought it was going to be terrible. And I kept waiting. We were all waiting for the preview, and Alil and I had talked about it on here, and we were saying this is going to be bad news. I was really interested in it. It's a different take. It has more of like a sci-fi film feel. I mean, think about those last Fantastic Four movies. They were very comic booky, kiddie.
It was more scientific they put in,
Yeah,
apparently.
and you didn't like that.
No.
Uh-oh.
I don't like trailers, first of all, because they show sneak peeks of the movie that I actually want to watch and enjoy. So
Okay, well, there's a way around that. Don't watch the trailer.
trailers.
You're right. B. Ward. You need a shirt. B. Ward, and then you'll know not to watch the trailer. So did you? So you don't like the trailer aspect, but did you like? Does it look intriguing? Does it look like a movie you want to see?
It looks more
And
based.
did it before you saw the trailer? Were you on it?
All right, so I knew nothing about it before I watched the trailer.
Okay.
So
So-
everything I know is from the trailer.
Now, from what you've heard without seeing it, have you thought this is something you want to see, or is this just kind of like, I know I'm going to see it, but yeah, this looks like a tank?
I've seen little comments here and there. I didn't follow up on this story, like I said, and watch the trailer and read. But based on the things I've seen people say, it seems like it's been a mix. People are excited. I don't think we know enough yet. Just from what I hear and all the talk leading up to it, and them get actors, and just the difficulty of actually getting this movie made and stuff.
Well, and how late are we with
still
getting a
intrigued.
trailer?
Yeah, I'm still intrigued. I still have a desire to want this movie to come out and be good, and I still have hope that it will be.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. A couple weeks ago, we talked about it on here. What's his name? Vaughn. Michael Vaughn? The one who directed X-Men.
I will find out.
Vaughn. He makes great movies, right? And he said, because people were saying this movie looks bad, it's going to be a problem. And he said, I've seen it, it's excellent. So we talked about it on here, like, that's industry spin. He's trying to make it sound good because he's in Fox's pocket. I think we might be wrong. I think that he saw in it what I saw in it, and I think this actually might be good.
Yeah.
I'm like kind of blown away by it. No, not Bryan Singer. You could say it out loud.
old ones?
Bryan
The old
Singer.
ones?
Bryan Singer. No. Bryan Singer didn't direct the new ones. It's Michael K. Vaughn or something. I can't remember his name. This is really bad. But he directed X-Men First Class, which is awesome, and he directed Kick-Ass. So, all right.
Matthew Vaughn.
Matthew Vaughn. Who's Michael K.
You-
Vaughn?
you
I don't
got-
even know who that is. Is he a
his
singer
cousin.
from the 80s?
You
It's
got
his cousin.
75% right. You got the last name, then you got the first letter.
Wasn't he a singer in the 80s? No, that's Michael Bolton.
No, that's Michael Bolton.
Matthew Vaughn.
I have a
yeah,
cousin.
you got it right.
I have a cousin named Michael Bolton, by the way. But
Do you? You have a
I
cousin
do.
named Michael
Honestly,
Bolton?
yes, yes.
That is awesome. Awesome and sad. Okay. I'm going to jump in another one, and then I'll let you, because I know you've got some you wanted to bring up. Because this was another huge one this week. They announced the cast for Ghostbusters 3. Is anybody excited for Ghostbusters 3?
That
I got
one
one
person.
hand up, one iffy hand, and a lot of silence. How about you guys? And what do you think of this cast?
I'm trying to be excited about another Ghostbusters coming out. Like it's just
You're
again, it's
trying.
another.
What do you sit around and like
I know. I was
write
like, I
word
think I
plus
can, I think I
Ghostbusters,
can.
draw little hearts, and try to get into it?
I'm trying not to be skeptical about it. We've been told so many times they were going to do it.
Yeah, but
and it
this
was
is
gonna be
happening. They made the
original
official
cast.
announcement.
Right, but I just like, are they forcing something now? Like should they have given up a long time ago, or is something just mediocre going to be squeezed out to get it done to say they did it? And then now this cast, I don't see this cast. I don't know. I mean, if they're going to make it feel like the old one, I don't know that I see this cast necessarily doing it. So.
Here's the other thing. It's Paul Feig is directing it, who did Bridesmaids, and he's using kind of his people, and he's pulling from Saturday Night Live. There's a lot that, to me, seems kind of like red flags, although I do like Kristen Wiig a lot. I think she's a great cast choice, and I think Melissa McCarthy is a great cast choice, unless they have her doing wacky Melissa McCarthy. If she is filling what people think is the Bill Murray role, even though Bill Murray he wasn't the goofy guy from Caddyshack in Ghostbusters, but I have a feeling they're going to play her in the goofy role.
But if it's
I'm
that
nervous.
dark, because you're right, he wasn't goofy. Like you're right, Caddyshack, right? He was more dark, sarcastic,
Right. If they,
And
but I don't want it to be a
carefree.
copy of that.
right?
I'm a little nervous because of the way they cast it. And then they've got two people from Saturday Night Live. I don't watch Saturday Night Live, so I don't know who they are. But it's two girls because it's an all-female cast.
Yeah, there's the one lady that's really tall. I forget her name. I want to say her last name is
Paul
Jones.
Bunyan.
Yeah. I want to say her last name is Jones. She's
Leslie Jones.
Yeah. I've seen her in a couple
In the
two, three
WNBA?
skits.
She's really tall.
She could be, though. Yeah, she kicked butt. But no, I've seen her in maybe 3 skits, and she's not been impressive at all in those. But, I mean, she had bit parts in them as well. So
Yeah, who can tell?
Yeah, exactly. So
This is what's funny. When the news came out, I was reading about it, and there was all this, like, pushback about it. And a lot of it, this is where I think it gets muddy. A lot of the pushback, I think, is because they made it a female cast, and I completely disagree with that. I am fine with it. That means nothing to me. I think it's great. I like I said, I think they might have 2 of them are right. The other 2 I don't know, so I can't pass judgment. But I'm nervous. I think I'm nervous about Paul Feig directing it, even though I was excited before. I think if it was a mix and it wasn't his Bridesmaids cast, I'd be more interested. What if they had taken... No! I take that back! Uh-oh. What if they had taken the Bridesmaids cast and they took... Martha, you're going to answer this. Roy, what's his name? Roy from IT Crowd. That was in... And he was in Moon Boy. Chris O'Dowd, Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, because he was in Bridesmaids, and John Hamm as the 4 Ghostbusters.
Now that could be interesting, a mix like that.
I should have cast this movie. I should have cast this movie.
Where does Paul Rudd fall?
Paul Rudd would be Slimer. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, he'll be very small because he took something for Ant-Man
He would
and he
have to
hasn't
at
quite
least
grown
have like
back in.
a part as a ghost of some type.
Right. Yeah, we ain't afraid of no
The
ghosts, though.
specter of Paul Rudd.
Now, I wonder if they're going to rip off a Huey Lewis song for this one. It's going to be, instead of, what did they use last time? I Got a New Drug was Ghostbusters.
Yes.
This time they should do the Heart of Rock and Roll, and it'll be like, wait a minute. That's a Huey Lewis song again.
What's going on here?
They had Bobby Brown. Remember, he did Ghostbusters too. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
What was the song in that one? It wasn't Every Little Step. It sounds like every Bobby Brown song sounds the same. But it was, I can't do. Okay, I'm not going to even try and sing it.
Yeah.
If Alil was here, he'd sing the whole thing for us, and he has the Blu-ray and the action figures. So, okay. Do you have one you want to bring up
What was I going to bring up?
for Alil?
Oh, we were talking. I was just geeking out a little bit with you as we sat down and we all pulled out our
Yeah, I know. I got
our
a towel for
tablets.
that. Yeah.
we all got our tablets out in front of us, for quick reference and whatnot. And I was asking you about this app Flipboard that you said you'd used before. And
Yeah, Flipboard's awesome.
I've used it off and on since it started. I'm a total tech geek with what I do for a living and everything, and I'm always changing up how I'm taking my what my input method is.
Yes.
I'll jump from RSS to email to that. And I've been back on Flipbook lately, and I hadn't been back on it since I really started up the magazine feature and really kind of got it going. And there's this one magazine on here that I started following called Pop Geek. It's Pop-Geek, and it's Jay Karam is the guy that puts it together. And
Now, does he
he's
write
got-
everything? Is he a blogger, or is he just organizing it?
They organize it, like they created it, and then I believe the way it works, and I've not looked into this in any kind of detail, but I believe the way it works is you can create this magazine, and then you can have other people added to it as like editors, and then it's kind of like you're just bookmarking.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
You're just
I used to
bookmarking and then
read.
sharing that in a stream.
I used to read Flipboard all the time. I'm home now, so I don't really as much now. But when I was at work, I would literally sit and flip while I was doing stuff. And it is. I would subscribe to Fast Company.
Uh-huh.
Okay? I'm a business geek, so I like that. And they had all these great articles, and you could just flip through, and then there was one for a gaming one I loved. So I haven't looked at it in a while, but just seeing this, I mean, on his screen right now is a cartoon version of Boba Fett. You had me at hello, Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I will be. I'll be flipping through that later.
Yeah. But this has been great. I mean, I came across this just playing around one night, looking at some of them, wanted to add some stuff, and it was a slow news day probably.
Yeah.
So I needed some more channels, and I found this one, and I was struggling sometimes to find. Struggling is a little over exaggeration, but I was.
You really need a life, man.
I know. I was struggling to find websites to follow, and get my geek fill of movies and comics, and just the stuff going on that I find interesting and fun. And I felt like it was real hit and miss, and I was too many sites, and sites would go on these side tangents I didn't care about. This Pop Geek has been it. That's all I've had to follow. I mean,
Edward, do you use Flipboard?
Nope.
Nope. So you don't know what this is at all.
It just seems like a place where people put up
Yeah,
posts.
articles.
Yeah.
It's like you're familiar with Pinterest. It's kind of like,
Yes.
people pin photos up there. It's more than photos. It's
Yeah.
you
No, it's
pinning
like
articles,
It's
right?
articles.
pinning articles. I like it quite a bit.
I mean, you can do a lot with it too. Like, I mean, I don't want to get too far into, this episode brought to you by Flipboard.
I wish.
Yeah, great. But like even, I mean, like I made lists on Twitter, and then I pull those lists in, so then I control what's in that channel.
Oh, cool.
And so if somebody starts tweeting stuff on a certain, because every once in a while a company will change their social media angle or whatever,
Right.
and they'll start tweeting the same tweets every other day for 2 weeks. Well, I'll just pull them off the list, and I don't have to, they're gone. I don't have to worry
cool.
about them
Okay,
anymore,
so note to self: don't start tweeting the same thing every day for 2 weeks. Okay, Edward, you got one you want to bring up, or shall I?
Go
move
ahead.
All right, I got a whole double-sided page here of stuff. This was one of my favorite things of the week. I just got to throw this one out there. This week, pictures came out of the Lego Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier.
Oh, yes, that looks awesome.
Heck yeah. Now, I put on there, I put on Facebook that in our house we have discussions about needs versus wants. Anyone remember that from 8th grade when you first learned?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This falls under the need category, but I have a caveat. I was reading about it again today, as I have done every day since it showed. It's so cool. It's okay. First of all, I got to say it's 3,000 pieces to build a helicarrier. How awesome is that? You know what? It's a good thing I don't work because I can sit at home and build a helicarrier. But here's the problem: the figures. You know how they use the minifigures?
Right.
This uses. I just read this today. Micro figures, so they're smaller than the regular minifigures.
Oh, really?
Well, then you can't. I mean, I want to play with my minifigures with it. I'm kidding. I don't play with it. But Molly is going to, our daughter is going to want to incorporate her figures. Although, now that I'm talking myself into this spin about it, how cool would it be to have minifigures and big figures, and you could start having have them
Midgets?
mix up and do. Yes, they're like, it's like hobbits.
Yeah.
It's,
no.
Or it's like, it's mini-me.
Is that your vision of
mini me?
a Wizard of Oz? Just have the little
They're
munchkins?
just as connectable, only 1/8 my size.
Yeah.
I almost did the impression, but I didn't. I didn't go there.
Yeah, it was-
So, are you guys excited for that? Anyone excited for the helicarrier? I know you are.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Win to Lego. The helicarrier looks awesome.
It's still, to me, though, is in second place right behind the Millennium Falcon.
Well, yeah,
if
but
I
that's
was
already
to
out.
blow...
There's the Death Star
Well,
is awesome.
yeah,
the
the
Millennium
Death Star.
Falcon is awesome.
The Imperial starships.
The Walker is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton
But
of them. So,
the
but for me, though,
helicarrier-
personally, for me, the Millennium Falcon is
It's
it. I mean,
hella
I grew up,
fantastic is what
but
it is.
Yeah, helicarrier is awesome.
You like that? It's hella cool. You like that?
hella
I'm saying that
cool,
for the
yes.
kids. I'm trying to connect with them. Yeah, boo. Okay.
This is why we call him the 45-year-old
Okay,
man child.
you didn't watch previews. Edward, you're not allowed to watch this, so I'm going to just touch on this quickly. But Ted 2, there was a preview that came out this week. And we watched Ted, obviously, when Molly was asleep. And I didn't think it was going to be that great. We both were kind of like, well, we keep hearing it's funny. It was fantastic. And it has...
That's a hilarious movie,
Sam
yeah.
Jones is in it, and they make a ton of Flash Gordon references. It sounds like our house.
Well, Morgan
Ted
Freeman's in
2...
it.
Huh?
Morgan Freeman's in it.
Morgan Freeman's. Did you see the preview? Do I have to tell your mom? Ruth, he's watching Ted 2 previews. Did you think it was funny? I thought it was hysterical.
I thought it was funny, but also it's just...
It's more. It's
Yeah.
more of the same thing. But yeah, it's not like Anchorman 2, which I have busted on here a lot. That movie was terrible. And the preview was not funny, but I thought, well, maybe they just haven't connected with the preview. But it was not good. It was awful.
It was exactly what the preview was. I haven't
Yes,
seen it.
give me my money back. But Ted 2, I'm watching it going, I'm not going to see it in theaters. It's just going to be like Ted. I'm probably going to avoid it for a while. And then one night, we're going to turn it on and be like, oh, my gosh, this is so wrong and so funny.
Yeah.
So, big win on Ted 2. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to, Star Wars news. There was a little Star Wars news this week. There wasn't much. We've had it each week. We've had a little bit, but this was interesting. Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Disney, he actually confirmed this week the dates for episode 8 and 9. Now, this is something that's been a lot of speculation. In the past, the Star Wars movies were 3 years apart from each other. Okay?
Right.
And then they started talking about these standalone movies, and we just last week got a little nugget about that, but we know now that 2016, the first standalone is coming out, right?
Right.
Bob Iger said in this little article, 2017 is episode 8, 2019 is 9.
Right.
So it's every 2 years. We now
Which
have
is
a
what was
confirmation.
rumored, pretty much.
It was rumored,
the biggest rumor from the beginning.
But
right.
when the CEO of Disney says every
That's
2
what it-
years,
right.
they did not talk about the standalone movies, which I think is interesting. But you know it's going to be. I'm making a prediction right now, and you know my predictions are always
Wrong.
12% accurate. It's going to be every other year during this. So there's going to be one more. We're going to have the Han Boba Fett one. Then there's going to be another one, which my guess is going to be something dealing with Yoda.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
And then, end of the trilogy, 2020. I bet they kick this in. Here's my prediction: we're going to start getting it just like the Marvel thing, every 2 years, and they're going to build it in, or two every year, and you'll get two standalones, and then a new trilogy starts. Two new trilogy. Two new trilogy. I'm telling you. They didn't pay $1 billion to make 4 movies.
Right.
It's not how it's going to work.
Right.
And I am excited. And if you would talk to me before, after episode 1, I don't know if my excitement level was going to be there.
Oh, no.
But the more I'm seeing, when I read this, all that geekness started bubbling up. Yeah, it was gross. Between that and Marvel and the nervousness I have about the DC movies, I cannot work. I am going to have too much to do. It's just going to be how it is.
It's too much to watch.
Oh, Star Wars, Marvel, Star Wars, Marvel, Star Wars. And X-Files is coming back to TV.
Yes.
Oh. Who wants to watch X-Files right now? Be awesome. Yes. All right. You got one, Ward? You got one?
No, go ahead. I think you've got plenty there. I think
I do have a
just
lot.
Keep on going.
Okay. Edward, have you ever seen Unbreakable?
No.
Such a good
Okay,
movie.
do you know what it
Such
is?
A good movie.
Unbreakable is a movie by M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, and it is possibly his best. He did Signs. He did The Sixth Sense, The Village. Yeah, I actually like all of them up to that point. I even liked that one that nobody likes, The Lady in the Water. Oh, that was a good movie, and people hate that one. After that, Last Airbender, that's the worst. That's unwatchable.
That's what I've heard.
And I heard that Devil was good, but people were already done with him. Well, this week, he actually said he's got a couple of movies coming out, and one of them is like an indie, almost horror movie, which is interesting. He's breaking free of this big budget thing a little bit, but somebody asked him about Unbreakable. It always comes up, and he always dodges. He's like, it's a perfect movie. I'm not doing it. It's really one of my favorites. I love that film.
Yeah.
Any other Unbreakable fans? One,
Yeah.
two.
Here.
I know Martha is, but she's too busy talking.
I've seen it.
Unbreakable. I love that. See? Told you.
Great movie.
Okay. In this interview, somebody asked him, and he actually said, it's still very much a possibility. I think I want to go back to it. I see a lot of potential there, but I'm not going to do it until I feel it's right. This is interesting. This is the first glimmer of hope, and the reason I got excited is it's the same thing that happened with X-Files. We had people saying, "Oh, they want to do it," but when it got to like Chris Carter, he's like, "Nope." And then all of a sudden, in the last few weeks, yeah, I'll talk to Fox, and look what's happening. Yeah. I would love to see Unbreakable become a series. I loved Unbreakable. I loved it. And you know what? As much as Bruce Willis gets a little tiring, then you go back and you watch Looper, and you go, he's still relevant.
Yep.
Just pretend Cop Out didn't happen. Cop Out was so bad. Did anyone see Cop Out? Oh. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I was stuck getting work done on our car, and it was the only thing on. I was sitting with other people, and they wouldn't change the channel. I had to watch Cop Out. I spent the entire time live tweeting it and harassing Kevin Smith. I was just like, wow, this is the worst movie you've ever done. And, and that's saying a lot because you've made some bad ones. And it was so bad. It was so bad. I told him it wasn't his fault, though. Not his fault. No, Bruce Willis's fault. Bruce Willis was like dead behind the eyes. It was terrible. I know. Edward, you didn't see it, though, right?
Nope.
Nope. Ward, did you see it?
Yeah,
You saw it. Yeah, it's
was-
awful.
Yeah, it's bad in so many ways.
All right. You got one?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about.
It's like my mom.
Nope.
If he
Yes,
asks
I've
me
seen it.
enough times, I might actually eventually
I've seen
just
it.
say yes.
Which one?
I've seen Unbreakable.
You have seen it. Okay.
Yes.
Great movie, right? If you say you
Yeah.
didn't like it, oh.
I liked it. It's better
Oh.
than another movie that I don't like.
This isn't Geektastic Cage Match. There's going to be punching in a second.
Why do you have to say that?
It's
I
just
got
like
him
it's just like on
going.
Siskel and Ebert. So did you like it? Well, it's better than the one I didn't like. Is it thumbs up or thumbs down? It's thumb attached to my hand.
It's thumbs.
It's a thumb.
This is a thumb.
I give
Okay,
it one thumb.
I'm looking at my sheet here, and I see 4 massive stories. This one's not massive. I'm going to say it. It broke this week that Disney is looking at Chris Pratt to play Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think he would make an excellent Indiana.
You think that, Edward? What do you think? He's an Indiana Jones. What about
I don't. Chris.
what about the audience? Are you excited for Chris Pratt to be Indiana Jones? You're nervous?
Oh, Pratt.
What, did he take your wallet once or something? Did you see Guardians of the Galaxy? He was cool in that. He's cool like I'm cool. Cool.
Oh, yep.
Yes, he is. I think he's an excellent choice to change it up.
Yes, he'll be amazing for the new Indiana Jones.
I think he would.
I mean,
I think
he's
he's
not
got-
as good as Will Smith, but he's
Oh,
good enough.
Will Smith. Yeah, at least they didn't cast Jaden Smith. Oh, no. Can you imagine if they cast Jaden Smith as Indiana Jones? Oh. No. They'll do the thing like they did with Shia LaBeouf. They'll put Will Smith in and then have something and Jaden Smith becomes Mutt. Wasn't that the name of his kid? Mutt? Oh, that's the worst. It's the worst.
Make Jaden Smith
No,
Indiana.
I'm all for Chris Pratt doing this. I think that's a good choice. What is this guy's career, though? Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic Park, and now Indiana Jones. Heck yeah. That's
He's
awesome.
just becoming another action hero actor.
And what? And the Lego movie.
Yeah.
What's his name in that? Andrew or Edward or
Emmett.
Emmett.
He was the main guy.
what? Do you have IMDb up over there? What are you doing? And he was in Parks and Rec. Okay. Yes, he was in Dark Zero 30. Yes.
Yeah. And the 5-year engagement.
Yeah. He was in
and
her.
Moneyball. And Mystery
I'm all
Man.
for it,
She
though.
was in her. He was in her. Parks and Recreation.
You know what? That's completely true, Chris. You make a great point. It comes down to who's writing and directing it. He's a good choice for the actor. I think that just like they're doing with Star Wars, they are going to take their time, which they are doing, to get the right team. Can you imagine if you got somebody that could really like the team that did the Bourne Identity movies, writing Indiana Jones with I know who they get as a consultant. No, you know who they get as a consultant? Batman? Did you say Batman? How great would Batman be in that? Wolverine in Indiana Jones. No, if they got Brad Metzger to write it with them, because he does all that conspiracy history, that would be, what? No, not Dan Brown. I'm saying no to Dan Brown. I bling the gauntlet down because then it's going to become priests and all that. I want to see Nazis. I want to see conspiracy. I want Nick Cage to show up in a cameo. I want Christoph Waltz. I want face melting. I want all these things. I want the Lego set, and I want micro and regular versions, and maybe maxi versions.
Take all my money.
Take all my money. Can we sell our house because there's Indiana Jones Lego coming? You just hit on the greatest thing ever. You make Shia LaBeouf a Nazi and melt his face off. Brilliant. I take my money. I'm going to sell Edward to the black market to have enough money.
How much money are you talking about? Because
Well,
50%.
enough to get to a movie.
50%.
50%. Yeah, that's right.
Wait, for the set?
Of Lego. Or he's cutting you in two and you're a set.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two with me.
I'm going on to the next one. We're in an appropriate place here. We're at the Blue Box Cafe where we talk Doctor Who a little bit. David Tennant is now in the Marvel Universe. Hallelujah. He has been cast as the villainous Kilgrave, who is the Purple Man in AKA Jessica Jones. This character, people don't know who it is. He's an important character.
I actually had to, after you and I talked.
Guess who I think he's going to be? I think he's going to be the main villain in the Defenders mini film that they're doing.
Ooh.
And that means very easily David Tennant as the Purple Man could cross over into into Infinity Wars. They could use him in there.
That's right.
This is an important character that people are not aware of. Just like with, there's certain characters that you go, oh, I don't even know what this is. Like a lot of people didn't know about Luke Cage and Iron Fist. They're like,
no.
Yeah, I've heard of them, but that's not important.
They're the best.
Wrong. They're important characters in the Marvel Universe. This is him being cast. I am so down with this. That's a great role, and he's going to be dark purple. What were you going to say?
Yes. I just remembered who the Purple Man was, and it was the best guy ever.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. So what do you guys think of David Tennant entering the Marvel Universe?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about David Tennant being in anything?
He's just got his hands in all the good sci-fi.
What do you think about David Tennant as Indiana Jones?
Yeah, that would be excellent.
Oh, that didn't get it. How about as a Nazi fighting Indiana Jones?
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
The picture that he has as a Nazi.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what were you going to say, Ward?
I was going to say he's just got his hands in all the good sci-fi worlds with Potter.
Between him and Chris Pratt.
And
What, he's in
Doctor
Welcome Back,
Who
Kotter?
No, Potter.
Potter and Harry Potter.
Potter, yeah, Potter.
I got excited. I thought there was a Welcome Back, Kotter revival.
Yeah, I was going to say he was Horseshack. You didn't know that? He was a child actor. It's Horseshack.
He's Lon Epstein. Oh, he can't be in this movie. He doesn't know from his mom. Signed, David Tennant's mom. Okay, so here's another one that Edward's going to like, that I think a lot of people in this room are going to like. Fox has announced that they are working with the producers of the show 24 to bring X-Men to the TV as an X-Men TV series. That is the right combination of things. Am I right?
Yes.
But when is it going to start in the timeline? Are they going to do it from the beginning, or
You know
are
what?
they going to do it from
They
the
haven't announced
middle?
anything. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to focus on Xavier's School for the Gifted.
That would be amazing.
I think that they'll have older cast members that will be teachers, but we're going to focus on the younger ones, which means we might get the New Mutants in there, which is awesome.
Is it going to be like the animated one, X-Men?
Yes. Well, that's my guess. The X-Men Academy, or whatever it was called.
Yeah, well, there's another one that's X-Men Evolution.
But I mean, this I just really popped on that microphone. This really leads to a lot of great ideas. I'm excited. I am super excited.
If they do this right, it's going to be amazing. If they do it wrong, it can.
If they do it wrong, it's 10 episodes and it's done, and then we just
that's
move
true.
on. You know,
Right.
It's not going to be. Fox is working really hard on universe building, whereas Sony, as we've talked about, has stepped on a banana peel. They have not with their Marvel properties. They hate Marvel Disney, so they do not want to screw something up and have them take it. So they're going to put everything they can into this, and I think the 24 producers are the right team to do this. How cool if Jack Bauer shows up and has to fight Wolverine? He heals as fast as Wolverine. Have you guys ever noticed that? You remember that one where he got hooked on heroin in the last 5 minutes of an episode, and then he came back the next episode and he kicked heroin? If you look at it, it's called 24. Each show is an hour. That was a 10-minute time frame from when he when he got hooked. It was like, I'm hooked on heroin, and then he kicked it. 10 minutes. Amazing.
Wow.
He's Wolverine. He's got superpowers.
That explains a lot.
It does. You remember when he crashed in the plane? Do you guys remember that one? At the end of the episode, they had a plane crash, and like it's on fire. And then the next episode, 15 minutes into it, he's like, that was in the desert, and he's like in LA 15 minutes later, fully like cleaned up and everything. You're like, that was 15 minutes.
He's fast. He's fast.
Maybe he's the Flash.
He might.
The
He's
Quicksilver.
Wolverine and the Flash.
Maybe he's Quicksilver. Let's keep it
Ooh,
Marvel.
there you go,
Yo, keep it Marvel. Okay. So you guys are excited. I know the audience is. You
Yes.
guys are excited for this.
Yes. Yes.
I'm down with it. How about Robert Downey Jr. news, as long as we're staying in that? This is the thing that lit me up the most. Any fans of the movie Jaws out there?
Yeah.
Okay, it's in like my top 10. I love Jaws. In Jaws, do you remember, you know who Quint is, right? Sharks in the water. Tanks in the water. You know that guy? We're going to need a bigger boat. No, he doesn't say we need a bigger boat. Brody says it. In the scene with Quint, he talks about the USS Indianapolis and how it went down and all the men were like that lived were floating in the water, and before rescue could show up, this is a real story. Sharks came and ate them all. Okay? Horrifying, but he drops this line. Well, for years, Spielberg has said he wants to go back and make that movie. So I have been waiting patiently every night, a little prayer. I said, "Oh, please let it happen." Robert Downey Jr. is going to produce a film based on the USS Indianapolis disaster. I am busting. It's the right guy that's going to treat it with the right respect level. I'm excited. And we're going to see people eaten by sharks, which is so scary and awesome. What do you think?
Never seen Jaws.
How
I
dare
like
you?
Rabbit.
You've seen Sharknado, right?
I
Yeah,
mean,
'cause that's terrible.
It's on Netflix, so it's like, do I want to watch it? But do I want to watch
No,
the
you don't.
Starving Games? So it's like,
Yeah, no, those are the Starving Games. Oh no!
What is the Starving Games?
It's one of those parody things like Scary Movie and
the
Spartans UK or
it's-
whatever.
The
and-
Starving Games is a spin-off of Hunger Games.
Not a
The main-
spin-off, it's a spoof.
It's a spoof.
It's not a
And
spoof. It's a spin-off. Katniss is in it, and this time
And
she's hungry.
The only single thing I've seen is the wallpaper, and it has Captain America in it.
Yeah,
So,
it's Captain
yes.
America. It's so bad. Does anybody like those? Honestly,
Wait, is William still here?
You like it.
No, William's
You
still
like those movies. Get out.
Wait, my brother.
Does anyone else like those movies?
My brother does. William does.
William, you.
He's not here. Though.
Oh, William bailed on us.
He loved that movie. He thought it was
loves
so
that.
funny.
Okay, you know what? You know why William's not here? Kicked out. Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh. So this movie is on my radar in a huge way. It's like the good version of Sharknado because there's like 1 million sharks eating people. That is awesome.
But is there a tornado?
Oh, I'm sure there's a tornado. There has to be. It's sharks.
You didn't know
Please.
that's where tornadoes come from?
Yeah,
You didn't
come
know
on.
that.
Boy, that homeschool failed. Let me tell you. Shut up. That would be. Oh, could you imagine Wolverine fighting a shark?
NATO.
No.
Sharknado.
Yeah, no, even better. They do the Indianapolis story, and you've got all the sailors floating there, and the sharks start to come, and it's really tense, and then Wolverine shows up and snickety snooches them.
Wait, you mean the huge jacked
You
man?
know what he's going to say when he hits her. It's going to be something like, sushi bub.
Sushi pub. I'm glad you're not writing the script.
Thank you.
So many.
I got that would be it. He'd have the cigar.
The problem is he'll have his cigar. He goes underwater. Then he smokes his cigar when he comes.
Yeah, he comes back
again.
up and it's still lit.
But it's Wolverine. He would like flip it in the air, slice some stuff up, catch it, flip it up in the air again.
Who doesn't love Wolverine?
He's awesome.
Do you think? I got a question. Going off topic, which we've never done. I have a question. Do you think? There's been a lot of talk about X-Men: Age of Apocalypse, which is the next X-Men movie that's coming out. Okay.
Age of Ultron.
No, Age of Apocalypse
Oh, right.
is the next X-Men.
X-Men.
Don't you confuse Avengers and X-Men.
Yeah, you're right. I even have it right
you know
here
what?
in front
Now
of
I
me,
get to
and
say
I
it to him.
still
Get out.
argued it wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm losing geek points like crazy today.
no geek for you. Here's my question. So we've got this timeline where they did the X-Men First Class, and the next movie, obviously, it was these younger guys again, right? Age of Apocalypse. They've basically ditched Picard and Magneto. So now they're going with the younger cast. They're staying in this younger timeline. They've got a problem, though. Wolverine was in those earlier movies because he's older and he doesn't really age that way. How many more of these can Hugh Jackman do? They used the same actor. When they go into Age of Apocalypse, do they need to recast Wolverine.
Or they can kill him off. It would be.
But if they kill him off, they can't kill him off because we saw at the end of Days of Future Past, he was at the school and
Well, he dies in the
Well-
comic books.
well, the
yeah,
thing
but
is,
not until after all
well,
that.
Well, that's true.
does Days of Future Past connect with the other 3 X-Men movies?
Yes, it
But
rewrote those. It took those movies and it kind of erased what happened.
Then
in
how
those.
did Xavier still live? I thought he died.
Because in Days of Future, we're not falling into this rabbit hole. You know what? That's going to be on another podcast.
Okay.
And then the doctor showed up and took him through time. You know, here's the thing, though. Do you guys think they need to recast Wolverine, or do you think we're okay for now? But I'm just concerned about it. I have concerns. What's going to happen? Do you think they should recast Wolverine for the next movie? Anybody?
If they're going to have not the same X-Men, yes, they should recast him.
They should recast him.
They should cast him, or should they make an X-23?
Or do you think, oh, that sounds awesome, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
They need X-23.
Edward pulls out the
or
big
Draven.
guns.
They can have Draven in there.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I'm just now. By the way, I just got a hold of all of the issues, and I'm reading the Death of Wolverine arc right now with the Project
Okay.
X and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm totally up to speed what you're
Deadpool.
talking about right now.
So, okay. I just had another thought, though. What if they're using Age of Ultron? No, now you got me doing it. Age of
Thank you.
Apocalypse
My job is done here.
to reset. So that would be kind of the end of that. Because these actors are getting more expensive for them. That'll be a trilogy with that same cast. Do you think they just take it and kind of redo, like start another timeline or whatever? Because they've proven they can do that with X-Men after Age of Apocalypse. That way you can recast Wolverine. It doesn't seem weird. You can recast basically everybody. Make them, put it in current times with kind of at a different point. I think that could happen.
Maybe it's
and now
time-
you've got a new Wolverine.
Maybe it's time Marvel and Disney uses their power and money and goes with the first all virtual CGI
Fox is not
cast.
going to let it happen. Fox
All
is not gonna let
CGI
it happen.
cast, and so now they can make hundreds of movies for the next 30 years, and it's just the same. You just need new voice actors.
That would be awesome. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. could be Iron Man forever.
Yes.
Yep. I think that's going to be our first dance at our next wedding, Martha.
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man forever. She's not listening.
That's the theme of
And
our
you know what?
next-
She didn't listen.
That's the
so
theme
she
of our
didn't say
next
no, So
prom.
we got it. That's the theme of our next prom. Can we have a Southgate Media Group prom here at the Blue Box, and the theme will be Iron Man forever.
I hope this prom doesn't involve dancing.
We're going to bring a Lil in because he said he used to sing opera.
Everyone's gonna get a little. All the women are gonna get little arc reactor
Oh,
rings.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You're such a softie. But we're going to get a Lil in here, and he's going to sing, "If you close your eyes, I don't want to miss a beat," or whatever. You know that Aerosmith song?
I'm not well
Nope.
enough with that.
I don't want
that
to close
rendition,
my
but-
eyes because I'll miss you, babe, because you're the best. Yeah, but rewrite it as Iron Man because
yeah.
I don't know the words to that either. Okay. We're almost done. Okay. I had one more big one on here. Not about Rush Hour, not about Chris Pratt. Yeah, there is a Rush Hour TV show coming, or at least they're in development. Is anybody excited for that? Anybody?
No.
I have absolutely
Yeah,
no
you remember
idea
the
what
movie
that
Rush
is.
Hour with
Eddie Murphy and
no, not
or
Eddie Murphy. It's yeah, Jackie Chan and the guy with the loud voice,
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Yes.
Does anybody care about this? No, I don't either. You know what's a really interesting indicator? If you go to joeblow.com, it has a meter at the top that says whether people like things or like if it's a hot topic, it'll be at 100%. So if it mentions Iron Man, 100%, Doctor Who, 100%. This one, like 19% today. Like, uh-oh.
And that's probably just people that goes, "Oh, I remember that movie Rush Hour. What's that about?"
And then they click on it and go,
Like-
nope, nope.
They laugh and then hit back.
Yeah,
Hit the back button.
I think this is going to be terrible. I think this is a canceled in the middle of the first episode type show.
Yeah,
It just does, and it's not going to be them either. Jackie Chan, I'm all down with. The rest of it, no.
I mean, yeah, I don't even know what to say about this. It's
Good thing you're on a podcast.
yeah.
Here's a video game thing. Last of Us. Does anyone play Last of Us?
I've heard of it,
Excellent.
and
I'm aware
I've
of its
played some of
existence.
It's a song by Aerosmith. Here, let me sing it. You're
No,
the Last
no,
of Us.
no.
You're going to close your eyes. It's a post-apocalyptic, kind of like the movie The Road, but it's a video game. So that's depressing.
The game is supposed to be excellent. I have not played it, but I'm definitely going to. This is on my radar in a big way. Well, they're making a movie. It's the same people. Naughty Dog makes Last of Us. They're the same ones that do Uncharted, which is also in development. It's been in kind of development hell. It keeps starting and stopping. But this one, they are putting a lot of effort into The Last of Us.
That's going to be such a depressing movie.
What they said, hold on, mister, is there are big changes to it. They're adding things to it, but they said it will be faithful to it, but they don't want it to just be two people wandering around and make it the road. So they're adding a lot of elements to it, but it was the guy who created it who is the one who has said, this is a big property for us. We want to make movies based on this that are good. That's the right attitude, because Super Mario Brothers, as much as I loved it, was not good.
Is it going to be like the Mortal Kombat movie?
No, that was terrible.
I've never seen.
I saw it. You know what? If you like that though, there is a fan film of Mortal Kombat that's really good.
I've heard that. I've never seen it, but I've heard
it's surprisingly good. But the movies are terrible. Terrible. I watched them a couple of times and they were awful.
Because the first time he watched them, it was so bad he watched
I had to
it
make
the second
sure
time.
I hated it that much.
It's like, that can't be real. That couldn't have really happened. I got to double check this.
It's so bad. I think that's it. I don't want to talk about the Supergirl thing. Game of Thrones Season 5 trailer hit, which is awesome.
That was awesome.
I
saw that trailer.
You saw that trailer. Finally, you saw something. It's a good thing you saw something. Is that it? You guys have anything else?
No, I think that's the big stuff for the week, stuff I saw.
Well, that was This Week in Geek. Excellent.
go.
Thanks, you guys.
Hey,
thank you guys so much for listening. That was This Week in Geek for January 31st, 2015. Thank you, Blue Box. We will be back with more podcasts shortly.